In part 7, we saw Ryder try to leave that cabin and that lonely place, but he failed. All the weird things happened with the writer, but Ryder thought that it was a dream. Is it so? Let's see in this part. I glanced over at the table and saw the diary still laying there. I grabbed it and kept on reading. I just can't see any other way out. I don't know what happens if she catches you. I don't want to know. All I know is that I have been up here for 3 days now and I can't get out. I have tried getting to the main road. I have tried running out into the woods. I have even tried swimming over the fucking lake. No matter what I try, I always end up right back here at the cabin. This place is cursed. I even tried to burn it to the ground, but the fire wouldn't take. It's a goddamn wooden cabin, and the fire wouldn't take. Goddamn it. I'm writing this as a warning, but I don't know if it will make any difference. On my last day here, today, I found a diary myself, written by the last owner, with a warning for me, or for whoever would have found it. Poor guy before me couldn't take it either. He had ended his stay here and on this earth by going out into the lake to drown himself. I think hanging probably is faster. If I only had a gun, I could end it in a second. I truly hope no one needs to read this, but if you do, I am so sorry. I laid the book down and stared into the fire. If this really is a dream, a coma, maybe I need to die here to wake up in the hospital. Either way, I can't take any more of this. The panic slowly started to return. I could feel tears rolling down my cheeks. It's not like I would be missed. Sure, they would have a moment at work, say a few things about me, but that's it. I don't have any family, no girlfriend or wife, no kids. I have to try. I have to try to die so that I maybe can live again. If this really is a dream, maybe it's my only way out. As soon as I had made up my mind, the old radio started to crackle and the dial lit up in a seekingly yellowish light, the needle of the dial slowly moving back and forth through the frequencies all by itself. A voice in the distance behind the static. No, you are mine. You have signed a contract. You will not benefit me of what I own. You belong to me. A loud bang on the door. The handle started to wiggle furiously. I stood up in panic, staring at the door, then at the radio, the dial now flying back and forth in a manic speed, and the room from nowhere burst with loud white noise. I ran to the kitchen, grabbed the oil lamp, and opened the hatch and went down. I tried to barricade it so that you couldn't open it from the other side. All I found was some rope. I tied it to the hatch and secured it to the staircase and went down. I started to look around. I didn't know for what. I glanced back up at the rope. Was it enough? I stopped and looked. There was a sturdy beam in the ceiling. Yes, I will follow the last guy here. But first, I went through the drawers and after a while found this book, this empty diary. I had to write this down. This is my warning to you, whoever you are. This is my goodbye. Maybe I will wake up somewhere in a hospital bed with tubes coming out of me and machines all around. Maybe not. I just can't take it anymore. I have to chance it. As I'm writing this, I can hear screaming coming from the white noise upstairs. I can hear furniture being thrown. I need to end this now, before she gets to me. I'm using the rope from the hatch and I'm hanging myself on that beam. I hope you never have to read this, but I am leaving the book in plain sight on the desk down here. Goodbye. Silence. Was I dead? I opened my eyes. I was lying on the dirt floor, rope around my neck. My head hurt. Blood was dripping into my eye. What had happened? I tried to get up, but I was pinned down. I had tried to hang myself, but the beam had broken and knocked me out. It looked like the back of the room was about to cave in. I managed to get out from under the beam and sat up on my knees. I couldn't breathe. I loosened the noose from around my neck and tossed it to the floor, breathing hard and deep. The beam had knocked over one of the bookshelves. There was something behind it. What was that? A room? I managed to stand up and limp over to the bookshelf, still standing up, and leaned against it. The oil lamp was still burning on the desk. I took it and moved closer to the opening. I had to push the heavy shelf to the side to be able to slide in behind it. I entered the hidden space and held up the lamp to illuminate my surroundings. What was that in the back of the room? It looked like an altar, a big stone altar, bowls with something in it. It looked like dried up blood mixed with some other stuff. The smell was nauseating. I felt like throwing up. The walls were covered in weird symbols and sigils. In the center of the altar, there was another book. It looked like it was bound by small patches of leather. Was it leather? It almost felt like skin. There was a symbol on the front of an eye and a crescent moon. It looked like it had been burnt into the skin. I opened the book. It too was covered in text I couldn't read, but somehow I knew that this book was connected to all that was happening. Maybe if I destroyed it, I grabbed it and limped back out to the dirt cellar and up the staircase. There were still no sounds coming from up there. I tried to move as quiet as I could up the stairs and through the hatch. As soon as I had come up, I started to feel sick. I wanted to throw up. Everything was spinning. The white noise came back with a vengeance. It was deafening. It was like it was in my head. I could feel blood starting to drip from my ears. I had to destroy this book. That was all I could think of. I got sick in the sink and fell to the ground. Something flew by my head and crashed into the wall behind me. A plate. I looked up. The entire shelf on the wall was shaking, glasses flying off it right at me. I caught one right on my eyebrow. Blood started to pour down my face. I mustered all the strength I had left and started to crawl towards the living room. It felt like I was crawling up a steep hill, like gravity had shifted. I grabbed hold of the wall by the opening and pulled myself closer. The fireplace. I have to throw the book in the fire. I managed to get to the living room, but I had no strength left. I could barely even breathe. I threw myself on the floor. I had a narrow angle to the fireplace. I saw the painting above it. It had changed again. The forest was burning. The lake looked like it was boiling lava. In the window of the painting, she stood. I could see her clearly now. Her old wrinkly face, her eyes. Oh my God, her eyes, pure white eyes. It felt like she was staring into my soul. I turned my head to look over to the actual window. There she stood, her back to me. She slowly turned her head towards me. This was it. I had one chance, or I would be hers to do with as she pleased. I aimed, still lying down, and with the very fast of my strength, threw the book towards the fire. Time seemed to slow down. It seemed like everything was happening in slow motion. In a blink of an eye, she was over me, hovering in a horizontal position, her eyes just inches from mine. She smelled like death and carnage. Her dark, wet, greasy hair covering my face, her ice cold hand firmly gripping my wrist. I could feel her long yellow nails bury themselves in my skin. I could feel myself dying from the inside when, in the corner of my eye, I saw the book disappear into the flames. An ear piercing screech followed. It felt like the whole cabin imploded. A bright white light, and then nothing. I woke up yesterday in the hospital. They say a couple of hikers found me out in the woods at what looked like a camp spot. Apparently, I had been lying there in the middle of a big stone circle, unconscious, dried blood everywhere, torn clothes, bruises all over. I wasn't sure what had happened. I remembered everything, but couldn't even believe it myself. It had to have been a dream, I thought. That was until they came to change my bandages. There on my wrist was two barely visible scars, a crescent moon, and an eye. I don't think I'm out of the woods yet. Did you enjoy my story? Please let me know what you think by leaving a review. Thank you.